Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 129, and today we're going to be doing battle with Lux Illaoi. And so, if you watch our videos in order, if you're a daily follower, we do have Illaoi 2 days in a row, and we do also have the Grumble Slug 2 days in a row. And so I hope that's something interested in seeing. You're interested in seeing, because that's what we're bringing you here today. And so, as we cycle back around here, I was really impressed in our previous video with the usage of Grumble Slug. We were playing Grumble Slug and Zap Sprayfin in a base Shurima Illaoi deck. And so the idea with that previous deck was we were using Rite of Callings and Quicksands and Rite of Negations for our Illaoi, and then we were also messing around with Grumble Slug. The thing that the Attuned unit kind of brings to the party is that you're looking to play all of these very expensive spells, right? We're playing the full package of Riptide Sermon, I have Naga Kaboros and Tentacle Smash, and then with the Demacia version, we even have the Golden Aegis and Concerted Strike. So we have this like really heavy spell package, and the kind of classic ways to just get these down are you play either something on turn 1 or you play something on turn 2. Right, so you either lead off with Watchful Idol or you lead off with something like Petricite Broadwing, and then when you get to turn 3, you have a spell mana banked up, and then you can use that to start Tentacle Smashing. But that does leave you with just saying, hey, I can't play a card on one turn of the game if I want to have my ultimate curve. But Grumble Slug comes in and fixes all of that, right? We can still play our Watchful Idol on turn 1. We can play Grumble Slug on turn 2, still bank that point of spell mana. And then on turn 3, we're free to Tentacle Smash because we have 4 mana now. And so it does a lot of wonders in terms of just smoothing out your curves. And then the kind of historical problem, if you will, with a card like Grumble Slug is if you can't spend the spell mana, then you're not getting any kind of bonus out of this, right? You could just be playing almost literally any other 2-drop in the game and it would be better, since most 2-drops in the game have 5 stats, and come with some upside, or they have a little bit less stats, but they generate a card. And so that was the problem with Attuned, right? The problem in air quotes is that if you can't spend that mana, then you didn't get any advantages. But with a deck like this, we have plenty of ways to spend all of this spell mana, and having this early play now lets us interact with the board. And so we can play an early game play. We can come down and block an Annie, right? We can do some neat things like that with the Grumble Slug while not hampering our curve. And so that's why you're seeing some of these oddities here and why we're playing Shell Shocker and Grumble Slug, and we're not playing things like Petricite Broadwing or Durandi Sculptor or Answered Prayer as a means as our early game package because we're using the Attune units. The second piece with those is you do need kind of a high density of units, especially now that we are playing cards like Riptide Sermon, because it's very easy to find yourself with these boards as to where you have a Tentacle, you have an Illaoi, and then you just need something. You need a dude to put on the board to just block literally anything. And if you're sitting in with like a bunch of Answered Prayers in your hand, you can't actually add that unit. And so I do like the addition of the Grumble Slug in here. For just a unit to have down, a good aggro stopper, and then it allows us to continue to play on our curve. And so in kind of the general sense with this deck, to give you a little bit of history on it and the likes of that, is it does tend to work quite well against the base Demacia decks. This is the kind of deck that you would play if you wanted to, say, just come out and smash Scouts, right? Because the kind of game plan that you would see with Scouts is they're going to try and control the board. With Challenger units, they're going to then try and grow the board. They shouldn't be losing any units in the process because they're getting to kind of pick and choose their combats. And it's that flexibility in the Challengers and the Misfortunes and the 4 Demacias and such that let them grow up to those gigantic boards and pick good combats. But the downside to all of that width and that combat choosing and such is that, say we have an 8-power Overwhelm and a 9-power Illaoi. Then they come to put their blockers out in front. They're only able to prevent like 5 of the damage, and they just get OTK'd. And so this has been a deck that's always been traditionally a good against the likes of Scouts. But now, with the rise of Kaisa, it has another deck that has fairly similar play patterns in that you can kind of look at Kaisa as just a big game-ending card like for Demacia, and they just don't have the toughness, if you will, to stop these big OTK attacks. And so with the release of Forces from Beyond, Forces from the Grave, Grave Masters, whatever this new set is called, I unfortunately can't remember. The more popular deck coming out of the format is a good matchup for Lux Illaoi. Now, the second thing to call out with this deck is we talked about this kind of extensively in the previous video in the question of Illaoi, right? That's the end. That's the end of the statement. I didn't put the question mark on the teleprompter, so it was a little bit hard to see. But that's Illaoi with a question mark at the end, right? And what that's basically coming down to is she is extremely important in winning these games. Like, yes, you can win a game or two on the backs of just Tentacles, but for the most part, you have to have Illaoi to win these games. And if you don't draw Illaoi, what do you do? And if you do draw Illaoi and then she just immediately gets killed, what do you do? Right? Those are the common situations that you'll run into. And the answer shouldn't be lose the game, right? That's not what we're looking to say. And so with our previous deck, with the Shurima version, we were playing Rite of Callings so that we would have additional access to just drawing Illaoi. And then with this deck here, Lux is the answer to that question. Lux is very strong at just closing out a game on her own. We have all of these expensive spells in here, and so with the usage of these expensive spells in Lux, usually if you get to play Lux and untap, you just win the game from that point forward. And so that was the last thing I wanted to call out here at the end was the answer to Illaoi question mark, and that answer is very much Lux. And so, there you have it. That's what we do in battle with today. You all know what we have to do before the battles begin. We do have to go and pay the pay-to-win price. And I think we might already be there. So far, everything's already premium. Illaoi's not, but that's acceptable. Lux isn't as well, and our epic. And so we are good to go. The pay-to-win price has been paid. Let's go ahead and jump on into battle. All right, off we go. Another day, another set of Illaoi games. You're welcome. What do we got? The classics, the Trundlemere. Maybe it's making a new appearance, a welcome back party to the lands of Runeterra. And so the things I like to keep with this deck are cheap plays, our Shell Shockers, Watchful Idol, Hired Gun, Grumble Slug, and then I'll also hang on to Tentacle Smashes. I don't like to hang on to any other cards. Like if we're playing something like Illaoi Bard, where you have some time, and if we pick up an Illaoi, I'm kind of okay with hanging on to it there. But in general, I just want those cheaper plays. Now opponent says WTF, it's a Grumble Slug. Says my Blighted Ravine will not shut that down. He of course hits, and now we get to Tentacle Slam. He's gonna say OMG. I want to play my Blighted Ravine. It just doesn't do anything here. Oh my gosh, Bust, you're throwing us for the biggest of loops. Alright, not bad. It's like a pretty powerful setup against this deck. Like if we get to just drop Illaoi this turn, and then open on the next turn with Eye of Nagakaboros for the big slam, it should be pretty tough for them to deal with. Big old boom. Needs a vengeance for this turn, but we still get a nice swing if the damage is in. Hit for 8. Pretty close to getting a lethal with the Golden Aegis. Have to watch out for that next turn. If he taps out for Trundle or something, then we're in the clear to just win.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
All right. Can technically get close again. We can't win on this attack, but we could win on an open next turn. I don't want to be like super in on it. Now my new concern. Oh, never mind. Our tentacle's big enough to survive a Vile Feast. So we'll put the barrier onto the hired gun, hook little dum-dum out of combat, get a 7 smash in with the tentacle, and then ideally get a kill on the next turn. Doesn't even want to go for it. Doesn't even want to draw for the vengeance. he says, bust, it's been too much. I can't handle a 3 sisters. Alright, GG. Felt a little preemptive, but I'll take the victories where I can get them. So man, I watched a classic movie last night. I went and watched Ocean's 11 again. The good one, the Brad Pitt one, not the one made in like the 60s. And it's wild to me in that seeing movies like that hold up for so long. Like it's a heist movie with some technological aspects to it, but it's not like they're doing a bunch of like weird hacking and putting like matrix dots on the screen and stuff. The heistful scenes, even then you know exactly what's going to happen because I've seen it like 5 or 6 times. I don't know. All still seem pretty relevant and exciting, even though you know what's going to happen. And then it's one of those movies that has the all-star cast in it, but then it's not like tacky. They're there for a reason. They aren't just being like, oh cool, here's Julia Roberts. She's going to sell some tickets, so let's put her in this movie. So it was so good. So good. Highly recommended. Alright, back to the game. I won't make this all about the movies today. What is this Bard Sejuani? And so it's interesting. The plays that you're typically looking to make out of the deck like this is you want to play a 2-drop, both of those being 3 power overwhelmers, and then you get a big troll chant the turn after. And so I think he doesn't have the troll chant, but if we don't play around their strategy of trying to just put down all these 3 attack units, like we can't make a C's voice play here, right? Because it's just if we play C's voice and then he plays a 3 attack unit, we're just fucked. So we can just come in slow, bank all of our mana, get the tentacles going, then build up to this Illaoi. Big, just straight up big enough to tentacle slam this Yeti down. I don't think I'm ready to immediately go for that. I think we can safely get Illaoi on the board. Then on our next turn, we can tentacle slam so Illaoi can see it. We can make a big attack afterwards. And then we can try and finish with Golden Aegis. We'll have the 8 mana next turn since we got to full bank. Then another key to this kind of play is only playing probably one Sejuani, maybe 2 Sejuanis, but she would be fairly upsetting for us, right? Getting that big frostbite on a board like this when we're trying to make big OTK plays would be kind of miserable. What you got, dude? You got some protection? Yo, big frostbite coming in. Okay. So we could still pivot out of this a little bit. Not going to play a Golden Aegis this turn, but he shouldn't be able to do very much, right? He's only got 2 mana left. He hasn't been playing any 2-drops, so he would need to just like draw one immediately to have one to play here. So we should be able to hired gun down this Ancient Yeti and then still get another big hit in with Illaoi. It's not going to be enough to flip her. She's only going to see like 9 damage this turn. 9 plus 3 would get us to 12, but we're starting to get a fairly commanding advantage on this board. Does have a Ruthless Raider. Okay. Seems like a fresh draw, but I'm still happy enough to take down his big boy. And then we're in no hurry on this board. We can play this kind of slow. Let our advantages build up. Like, if he taps out for Sejuani, we have a perfect answer in the Golden Aegis. I'm not, like, super worried about what they can do here. Like, this is just not a spot to where playing on curve is good. I do believe we have to open attack next turn, though. Like, I don't want to make an attack this turn, right? We don't have enough stuff. If he has another Frostbite, that's going to be kind of bad, but we're not to the point to where we can worry about that anymore. So if he gets to, like, Frostbite our Illaoi and then put Sejuani in front, looks like what's about to happen. That's not ideal by any means, but I think we're to the point where we're good to just be going for it. Yep. Interesting. He prevents the damage and throws away his Sejuani. It's like, I'm okay to lose Sejuani. The thing we're really looking to have happen here. Why would he do it that way? Because she's going to shrink next turn? I guess that makes sense. I still think we're okay here. We get to drop Lux, and then he has to immediately be scared of everything that she can do. We have another Golden Aegis to protect on our next turn. Hopefully this is good. I think the question for here is, do we want to play Watchful Idol, right? If we're going to play Lux, we can 3-bank. That will take us up to 11 mana next turn. And then 11 minus 4 would be 7. So we are safe to play our 1 mana card and then have the mana to play any spell in our deck next turn.
You are paralyzed.
Let the light guide you.
6 plus 4, that equals 10. Yeah, I nailed those mathematics pretty good. We didn't draw a champion, which is unfortunate, but I think the idea here was sound.
This is my choice.
Okay, you fought valiantly, Lux. See if we get Battle Furied. That, I know I always play Battle Fury in decks like Darius Nar, and so if he gets us with Battle Fury, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yep. GG. So that was tough. That felt like one that should have kind of been within the grasp. I don't know. I guess running into double Frostbites is kind of challenging for this deck, but it felt like we were in a pretty good space. I wonder if how that matchup looks just in terms of if they don't have the 3 sisters. Like, we fought off 3 Frostbites there between the 2 3 sisters and then the Sejuani. It's kind of tough to do. All right. Battle number 3. You want to talk about Ocean's 11? Now that we're back to it. Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and everybody in it. My big one's, it's got Casey Affleck and Scott Caan in it. Now, if you want to look at the superstar cast of Ocean's 11, and then stop and ask yourself, how many of these people were in the greatest movie franchise of all time, the Fast and the Furious franchise? I do believe Scott Caan is the only one. So, you know, when it comes to the superstar ensemble cast, maybe he is the true superstar. You know, he is the big one. All right, though. We're up against another ramp deck, the Targon flavor this time. Just getting as much damage on the board as we can. We want to try and set up a space to where Illaoi is our only unit that we have on board. Just in the most expensive card in our hand. So if they drop Targon's Peak, then Illaoi will be nice and safe, ready to come down for the cost of 0. Let's see. Let's see what happens. He's up to the big 6 manas. We're able to take down the faces of the old ones this turn. That's kind of nice. There's the peak. All right. He should get one shot, one chance at glory. If it's an Aurelian Soul, it's not that big of a deal. I think we're okay against most things. If he has a She Who Wanders, that one would be kind of problematic, but this is certainly a manageable if that stairs. All right. Get some stat points on the board. Now, the downside here is our Tentacle's not going to have Elusive next turn, or not going to have Overwhelm next turn. But we should be able to just, get the kill with Illaoi, right? You can't block both. Needs a Three Sisters again. The bane of our day, the Three Sisters. And for whatever it amounts to, we do have the 2 sharp sights in hand. I don't think that'll be big. The thing I thought could potentially turn out to be big is using the single combat. I don't think that's going to be a case here, but we've got it. Should we need it? Has he given up? He says my It That Stares block is not enough.
Many are moved by fear.
Did he disconnect?
Are paralyzed.
Was he trying to take a Mount Targon-sized deuce at work? And then he dropped his phone in the toilet? It could happen. It could happen. Seems like it's going through. Feel bad, dude. I want you to have good deuces. Not bad deuces, only good ones. Alright, GG. Maybe him and the fam having dinner at TGI Fridays. Got tired of the bitching at the table. Said, F this. Going to the bathroom. And then he had to play that game. Bad day. Bad day for the guy. I'm sorry, dude. Alright. That's where I actually make all my videos. I go down to the local TGI Fridays. I just open up the laptop, sit in the stall. Really sets the mood, the tone, the ambiance. I dig it. What is this? Rumble Zed? I saw the Ionia Noxus and was like, oh, okay, it's just going to be Yasuo. Turns out it is not. So we have to mulligan for our early game stuff here. We got to be ready to deal with a Zed. Is this? Wow. Okay, lightning bolt to the face, my dude. Just bring it. That's a strategy. The old lightning bolt to the face. Couldn't wait until turn 4 to discard those to rumble. You gotta get the damage in right now. Alright. See if this is enough. Twin Disciplines is gonna be problematic, but he didn't have it. Cool. We would have just lost the game to Twin Disciplines right there. Don't think we would have had well, we could have got the Shell Shocker down and played another single combat, but that would have only been 4 damage. Alright. Little bit of mana problems here. Little bit. Let's see if we can't get out of this one. We'll play Watchful Idol. Give him a chance to play some more cards. He didn't do it, so let's go for the single combat. Nice. Rip Zed. So now we only lose that on 1 mana. We can start getting Luxes on the board. Sounds good to me. Ready to party. Stagehand, Salt and Stitches, something else.
The light follows.
Another copy of Rumble. Okay. Block. Oh shit. Is he gonna have a Whirling Death? Huh. I mean, I guess it is like a fairly safe attack into Lux. Right, because you can just like quick attack and then not die in the background. Man. Now I'm looking at this and it's like we have this option to Prismatic Barrier plus Tentacle Smash. I think that, I mean, that's probably a little greedy. Let's just go for the Concerted Strike. Maybe that'll bait out some kind of spell, and we can get something going with the Prismatic Barrier.
I hope that was mud.
This will work as well. He is pretty like heavily incentivized to not play a unit now, but if he wants to just get domed for 9 and not play any more cards, and then we can go into next turn with Eye of Nagakaboros and Prismatic Barrier, we'll probably be okay at that point.
For justice and all things bright.
Can't just play it, right? Let me double check. Oh, you can just play it now. I didn't think you were able to do that. Interesting. Look at us coming out here and learning shit. Huh. Old dog and new tricks and the like. It's weird. Like there was I thought it was like a rules change that they made at some point to where, like to where you can play Tentacle Smash and not have a target. You just put it out on the board and press that button to the right. You can do the same thing with like a if you want to just play a Sump Dredger. I think a Sump Dredger might be a bad example, but I thought that you could. Right? Let me see. No, he's a right. It has a play ability. I think this kind of works as to where you can play the card, and then you can go to the right and click, so you don't actually have to discard anything. Like I think you can do it with the Sump Dredger. I think you can do it with the 1-drop, whatever she's called, the Zonite Urchin, to where you just you put the card in the middle. It waits on you to make a selection, and then you go over here to the right where the Arena Bookie is and click on Done. I think you can do that with these discard cards as well. I'm not entirely sure on all the rules as to where you can do that, but I didn't think that you could do that with Final Sparks. That's actually pretty cool to know. Learning is half the battle. That's what they used to call us on G.I. Joe. Knowledge is half the battle. Which one is it? I don't remember. Knowledge is half the battle? I think that's it. Oh, man. Some nerd out there is getting real mad right now. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, dude. Soak this in if you want to get mad. So when we were kids, we used to have a bunch of like G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and the like. Our mom would just go to yard sales. If she saw action figures, she would just buy them because we like to play with them and stuff. And so we had a fairly large collection of, G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles were big. The WWF at the time wrestling kind of rubber action figures were big, and so we had them all. And then we got BB guns. And so then the next thing that you do with the BB gun is you go out and start shooting stuff. And so we took all of our action figures and just shot them all with BB guns until they fell apart. And so I'm sure that there was a Black Lotus of the BB gun world. Or I'm sorry, of the action figure world just got annihilated in our backyard. If you want to think to the 40-year-old virgin, he's probably got the $1 million man action, or the $6 million man action figure just destroyed, gone, near mint in the box, shot with the BB gun. All right, things are going okay here. What are the things you can try and pull off against the Lurk deck, which looks like we might be able to do here, is just get their unit's dead, so they can't make an attack. So we can look to Tentacle Smash this Xerxai Collar, so he can't attack this turn, and then in turn from that can't get a lurk. I feel like that's probably a little greedy, though. I'm just going to go ahead and drop the Sea's Voice. If he attacks, for whatever reason, misses a lurk, even though he just predicted, we would be able to sharp sight through this. But I think it was shutting down that +1 attack is a little scary in terms of them having access to 1-drops in their deck still. Okay, giving up on the Tentacle Smash. He's gonna drop that that little dude, whatever. He just blood baited, so he has a thing on top of the deck. We'll block it. We'll have to throw something away in front of it. Probably want to just throw away the tentacle, but I'm hoping we're okay next turn when we get to throw down Lux and shut down a major portion of his attack. And then if he just open attacks on us next turn, that still feels like a win. Doesn't have Overwhelm. Want to hang on to the Sea's Voice. Here comes Lux.
The light follows.
I think we've ground him down enough. Like, he's getting to the stage to where he has to have a... where he has to have a Rek'Sai. So what I'm looking to do here, I'd like to bait something out. I want to Tentacle Slam this turn. So that we can get Final Sparks going. I'm hoping to be able to Final Spark a unit away. May not get that opportunity. Well, I guess we can just play the Tentacle Smash and not play any other cards. Or not have it target. How big is this? I fucking hate this. You need to be able... Okay, you can at least see Pike as a 7. It's such an annoying way to have to go about this. So we can't Tentacle Smash now, but we can Hired Gun down the Pike. Ooh, no, Pike is too small. Why is Pike smaller than the Xerxai Collar? That's weird.
Get bloody, get paid.
I remember the fight.
Okay, we'll give up on Lux. He, like, probably can't trade away Pike, so this should be a strong enough attack here. He's going to have to open to try and get the death from below now, but I feel like that was a fairly safe one.
Pushing my limits.
Okay, another spot where we're going to lose our Tentacle again, but Rek'Sai is not big enough to kill us. Alright. Scary stuff. Tremors and things. All to 7. I guess the downside... Shit. Oh, shit. That was a misclick. We might have just lost this game. Needed to get the Tentacle Smash down. Fuck me. Right, because the idea... Things are different now that he's played Snapjaw Swarm. But we were going to try and open attack and get a kill next turn. Now that's fucked. Okay. How do we get around this? We have to Final Spark Rek'Sai. We're dead. We'll be...
A beacon through the dark.
We'll be dead if he has a blood in the water. Alright, does that get us a kill? Looks really close. Let's be real, that looks really close. There's Final Spark number 1. We should be able to Final Spark the Sharkling and deal 2 damage. Okay. LOL. He missed our tentacle. Okay. Next turn. That mana would have worked out a lot better if we'd played the tentacle smash in the right way, but did we do it? Did we do it, Fam Jam? Laser beam. Nice. you didn't know we were playing the burn deck today, did you? GG. I don't know if we deserved that one. Maybe that was just vengeance for the Freylord game, having everything come together like that. GG, my dude. All right. That one truly was a smashing sermon. That's the name of the deck right there, isn't it? Tentacle Smash. Get the sermons. Get it all going. Oh. Get that damage right to the face. So versatile. It's got to queue us up a real good one. It says, Bust, you didn't deserve that. We have to find you a challenging opponent now. See if they've been found. Oh, Colby Del D's. Kobe Bell D's. Is this a D's nuts joke? Am I too old to get it? It's a valid question. Bust, are you too old? Probably. Probably am. Gonna start saying stuff like that slaps. Check out this banger, yo. It slaps. Music reference right there. I love it though. One of my favorite moments of Parks and Rec was Tom describing his iPod. It says, I'm trying to remember the exact opener to it as to why someone was listening to his iPod. I think that they were having some kind of like dance or get together, and they were afraid that there wasn't going to be good music. But every song on Tom's iPod is a certified banger. And then he goes into his list of criteria in determining if a song is a banger or not. Very, very nice. Is this ever worth a single combat? It can't be. No acoustic instruments. One time I found a Lumineers song on my iPod. Had to throw it away just to be safe. But all right, let's see what's happening here. Back to the action. Less Parks and Rec, less bangers, less things the kids are saying these days. I think we just have to pass now. We're up against the old Viego Gwen. We really need a way to kind of build up to an OTK styled attack. We don't quite have it here. Happy enough to take down Gwen. Sucks to take her. Let's wait till combat. Right. If we get into combat, then she won't pass on that additional hallowed bonus. I think that makes sense to do. And then we're gonna just like have to attack next turn and see if we can make something happen. Like we're falling pretty far behind. If he's just like, LOL, it's Viego. Like that's just such a problem. And so I think we have to attack, get a tentacle going, maybe get a golden Aegis going, and hopefully things will just turn out for the better. Yep. Nothing to do about that. There's the Vigio, if you will. Not surprised to see him. Now, it's like, can we safely make a Golden Aegeus attack this turn? It's not good. I just think we have to do it. So I'm going to look to Golden Aegeus one of our units. We'll hook Viego off to the side. I think we want to deal 3 damage to him. So I'm leaning towards playing Golden Aegeus on the Tentacle and having the Tentacle hook Viego out so that we get 3 damage. He's going to block something with the Spiderling so that it gets to grow. Or that he gets to summon the Soldier and grow his Viego. And then ideally, we can kill him with a 3-power unit next turn. But this does, require a lot to go right. Something is likely to go wrong here, but we don't have a choice, right? We don't have anything else going on. We didn't draw any of our good cards this game. And so we just have to say, like, okay, he has nothing. He has a handful of dog shit. How do we win this game if his hand is like 3 invasive Hydravines and a Gwyn, right? We can do stuff here, but if he has ways to interact, we're just going to die. Everything's going wrong here. I'm good to call this a day. GG. On to the next one. The Grumble Slug was not enough that game. Unfortunate. Okay. This Ionia Noxus is yes, whoa. The boat will be coming at us. Let's see what happens. Not a great start again. A little better now. Always feels a little bit better with the Tentacle Smash.
Think you're fast? Cute. Who's on top of the bounty board today?
Alright, so I'm going to Tentacle Smash this. It is a little unfortunate that we did, drop a vulnerable on it, but I think we need to get a little bit something going here, and if this Tentacle Smash goes wrong, I don't want to feel bad about it, and so I want to still have ways to interact with this Blade Twirler if he drops a Twin Disciplines or something to get the Protect, or I guess the other thing that would kind of suck is if he Concussive Palms the Hired Gun, but this is like one of his high-powered units I want to be able to interact with. Thorn of the Rose, not so much. Looks like he's trying to set up playing Yasuo into a Guile. Is that what we're going to see here? We can Sharp Sight through that. Oh shit, it's a Grumble Slug. Alright, let him take the flip. A little dangerous. We could have gone for the single combat to take down the Katarina, but I feel like she's a fairly big mana investment. And we can work around the Katarina. She kind of needs like the boat to be down to get to doing a lot. And I feel like he's just like a little behind in terms of making that stuff work. Right now he needs to pop off a stun pre-combat so that our tentacle doesn't grow Illaoi. Still looks okay. Ooh, nice. Get the board cleared. Surprised to see that happen. Okay. Big draw on the sermon. Loves targeting Yasuo's. Loves it. And if this fails for whatever reason, we can still have the giant tentacle ready to single combat him. Okay. Come on, bud. Cat's here. Cat's ready to party. There's that time when I start digging my claws into your leg. I hope you're ready for it.
Blade never gets any lighter.
Oh wow, you mean he's tapped out now? Come on, dude. I don't get it. He digs his claws into my leg, looks up here, and then walks around to the other side where there's nowhere to hang out. I don't get you sometimes, dude. You wanna try now? You like a challenge? You want to jump over the armrest? Alright. I mean, I expect a portion of this to go wrong, but like playing the Yasuo deck, he has to do so much to get back to what the deck wants to do. Like Will of Ionia, okay. So you spent 7 mana to prevent 9, that's fine. But like, what are you gonna do now? What's your plan? You have 3 mana for this turn, just bank? Like you're not catching up that way. And so he needs to get like the boat down, he needs to get Yasuo down, he needs to do a lot of shit. And that lot of shit's fairly tough to do here. We're looking at this place now where we just play Lux and 6 mana. That's a pretty strong turn. Between the Tentacle Slam and the single combat, pretty easily keep the board clear.
We can do this.
Do they play Homecoming? Like I don't care about House Spider. How do we do this? I'm looking to... the damage is probably not relevant, right? Let's just go ahead and Tentacle Smash. I'm trying to envision how this can go wrong, and that's just going to involve some kind of combat trick. So I was like, well, I want to kind of Final Spark one of these smaller units so that we get to protect the damage on our Tentacle, but it doesn't really seem all that necessary. So this is another spot. I suspect we're going to go into the next turn. We're going to open attack with the Tentacle, and then he's going to have a stun, right? I don't suspect we're going to get the lethal off of this attack, but like, we're so close to just finishing it anyways. I think this is good. It's the same deal as the last turn as to where, okay, you just spent 4 mana on a Concussive Palm. Like, what else are you going to add to the board that can realistically get you a win? And that's pretty tough to do. So we'll just attack. Here's a stun. Oh, whispered words, even worse. Just actual worse. I'm not talking bad about this guy's gameplay, and I'm talking bad about just the strategy that he's forced into right now. He needs to be building up board and getting things happening, and he's just 100% not doing it. And not a slam on GG out of mana catcher. It's just a slam on his situation. Looking pretty good, isn't it, kitty? You're getting them good kitty scratches on this board. Okay, you can have that Katarina right back in your hand. Do not care. And the final spark we're able to generate should just end the game. Sure. We're able to burst the Eye of Nagakaboros to get the thing. We can just play Riptide Sermon. Okay. However, we got all the ways.
I follow only one path, my own. Sleeves for the guiltless.
So the thing with our final spark is it does overwhelm damage. And so even if he has a unit on the board, this isn't going to kill Yasuo, whatever, but if we come in and final spark a unit and he plays a Twin Disciplines or something to grow its health, you can still Concerted Strike that unit down. to get that last remaining bit of damage through. But cool, GG. On to the next one. Our final battle is here. Kitty's here. Kitty's here to watch. Say what up, everybody. I'm the infamous pepper eater. I eat all the peppers because I'm a little dick bag. That's this guy. He hasn't been chewing on them anymore, though. Ever since I sprayed them down with that bitter stuff. Like, I guess the first time maybe I just didn't do it good enough. This time I went a little overboard and really doused it. I can already tell what's going to happen. Like, the wife uses that space to grow seedlings, right? We grow a bunch of vegetables and shit outside, and so you put them under the grow lights so they turn into little seedlings, and you just take the seedlings outside and put them in the ground. It's a little bit more effective than putting like seeds directly in the ground, and so that's typically like her space. She's the one that handles all the stuff over in that area, and I kind of took it over since we don't grow anything over there once it's like beyond the springtime. You do all that kind of thing. Like in like January and February is when that usually starts up. But I like doused that entire area with that bitter stuff, and I can already tell the next year that's just going to be on there, and she's going to be fucking around with the lights and stuff, and then I'm going to get in large amounts of trouble. The amount of trouble I'm going to get in is a lot. So here we had some options, right? We didn't have to play the hired gun. We could have just taken 6 mana into this turn and tried to shoot Aphelios. I like to have as many options as possible to take this dum-dum down. It's just he runs over every single game that he gets to be a part of. And so I would expect to play Riptide Sermon and then them have like an answer. And so I like this thing to where we can just open attack into him with the Tentacle. He had a card. Okay, good job. So now we can come into this next turn. We can try and Riptide Sermon. If that doesn't work, okay, then we have some other options beyond that. Like I want to have every option possible to take down Aphelios. Now the new question is, do we want to wait just a little bit to get this Lux going? And I think we do. Like even if he has a bounce spell answer to Lux next turn, then we're still going to be able to say Riptide Sermon. He needs a card. He can't Pale Cascade to heal. And then we still get the final spark. So makes me feel a little bit safer, a little bit better about it. Deny? Yep. Exactly what I'm talking about. Try it with the final spark. Finally got him. So it took us 3 or 4 efforts to take the Aphelios down, but we eventually got there at the end of the day. Felt like that was going to be pretty safe. The idea with this attack is he's never blocking Lux, but if he even does come in and block one of our smaller units, I'm kind of okay with it. He's getting Yasuo down to 2 health, and then it feels pretty safe. Okay. 10 mana of spells on the stack, so we get the final spark. Rip Yasuo. Now we can kill the Solari Sunhawk. Looks pretty good. I don't want to call our shot, but I think this game's done. Just with the protective spell and the barrier with double Golden Aegis, I think it should be enough to just run over here. I guess he can, drop a bounce spell or something, but this should be a tough spot to get victory in. GG. All right. Not a bad collection of games. 6 victories, 2 losses. positive win rate on the day. And so, again, this isn't a like new or novel idea in bringing out the Lux Illaoi. The big additions that I've made to this are just bringing out the Grumble Slug package, bringing out the Shell Shocker. I think they work fantastically well here. Like even in that last game, that made that mana work out perfectly. You find lots of spots, like in this collection of videos, as to where they just survived Blighted Ravines. We had a lot of great turns against the likes of both the Trundlemere and the big one, whatever the Targon Peak one, whatever we're calling that one these days, to where it just doesn't kill the Hired Gun, the Grumble Slug, the Illaoi, the Tentacles, like just a great collection of cards into that. But on the flip side, if we're playing against something like Annie Zig's Katarina or Elise Burn or whatever, then you have a unit that can easily come down and still get some 2-for-1s and give you some of that early game protection. And so it does a lot of work. Again, the thing with Attune is for it to kind of count as an ability, you need to be able to spend that spell mana. And historically, Bilgewater decks haven't been able to do that. But when we come out here with a deck like Illaoi, and we have this big tentacle package, we have lots of options in terms of getting that attune damage in, and then using that to take over the board. I've been pretty in love with the Grumble Slug, and I give it my highest of recommendations. Now, the only thing that was kind of different here between the previous one with the Shurima deck is I was initially playing with Zap, and I felt like it was just too expensive, right? If we're playing Shell Shocker, it's just free. I wouldn't be opposed to finding a way to put a second Shell Shocker in. I wouldn't be surprised if the kind of ideal numbers here involved cutting out a Concerted Strike for either another Shell Shocker or something that draws cards. I haven't entirely decided there, but I am completely on board with this idea of playing Grumble Slugs. And so feel free to use it, take it as your own, mold it, incorporate it, use it, climb the ranks with it. It's all there. And so that is going to do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. You maybe learned how to Grumble Slug a little bit better. Grumble Slug Part 2 here today. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.